Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today, I figured I'd do a podcast. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, so before I get on to today's podcast, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I really hope that everybody had a really good time with their family yesterday, yeah, and I hope everybody took the chance to remember all of those we truly love and care about who are either across seas or, just doing something else. Um, yeah, So today I figured I'd go ahead and talk about just some normal topics. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a just some normal fun topics, I suppose. Let's see. I'm starting off bad with this podcast, so it's okay. Um, you know what? Screw this. You know what we're going to talk about? We are going to talk about family because why not? I figured first podcast, we'll talk about it. So by definition, what is family by definition? A group consisting of parents and children living together in a household, all the descendants of a common ancestor. Well, this is going to be a fun topic to talk about, ain't it? So, family, I would think family consists of more than just friends or family and children. So, family consists, to me, it consists of basically everybody from family to brothers and sisters to cousins to friends, just people that you generally care about. So we're going to talk about one. I actually worked with this guy. His name is Olin. Coolest guy I have ever met. Literally, I could literally talk to him about anything. And, um, you know, he always tends to put a spin on it, and it makes it amazing, funny. It makes the day go by quicker. I also have another guy that I know. I'm gonna give him a shout out right now. His name is Ghost Boy, and we went to high school together. And I could talk to him about gaming, or I could talk to him about just general things in life. Um, and it makes it worth everything. Just to know that you have those people to talk to. You know you can have those conversations, and basically what they'll do is just like try to make it a little better. For family will do the same thing. Um, but to me, it's like it means the world to know that I have those kind of friends. Um, and I know that it probably means the world for them to know that they can talk to me about anything. And I have exes. I have like even my exes will want to stay and be like they'll want to talk. They'll always give me somebody to talk to, and I consider them family, and I give them people to talk to, and some get bullied, some don't. I don't know. I feel like I'm going off topic with family, but I guess just knowing that you can have somebody to talk to and somebody to laugh or somebody to just generally just make a plan to go like destroy someone's car. Not saying that I've done that, I swear to God. But if the time ever came for that, they know uh, they know that they can always come and find me, or I can go and find them, and we'll just generally come up with a plan. um I suppose I don't know, family is a pretty easy topic to talk about. And it like I don't know, it I suppose I could add another part to family. Family doesn't always consist of the people we know and the people that we know to be alive, because I can't just not talk about family and not bring up the fact that we have that kind of side to everything. Um, we can't. I'm not gonna say we because then it's like I'm targeting everybody, but I kind of am. People can choose to forget if they want to. Um, like fallen family or friends, and it's awkward doing this by myself now that I think about it. But you could I don't know, you could lose someone, say this year, which I don't doubt any of you haven't lost someone this year, whether it be um, human or animal. It doesn't matter. It still hurts. But if you find yourself in that spot where it's just not like you can't talk to anybody else about it, you know what I'm talking about. Like you find yourself in that one spot where you have people you can talk to, you have people that'll listen, but then then like you have that one feeling right in the middle that's like, do I feel confident enough in talking about it? Um, you just kind of realize, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, I'm moving on from that question or that topic because now I'm making myself emotional and I don't even know where I was going with it. Um, how about movies? Have you guys seen any good movies lately? I have. I will show you one that I've gone and seen not that long ago. It was Godzilla. I don't know. There you go. King of Monsters. Pretty good movie. It came out this year. No. Here's 2019. When did it come out? When did this movie come out? It came out. Yeah, it did come out this year. My bad. Um, Pretty good movie. I can't talk about it because then it's like, oh, you're promoting a movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. Um, the 2014 version wasn't bad either. Um, if I do a podcast, I need a better plan. May not have enough. What? Okay. I'll close this because it's yelling at me. I don't know. How about haunted topics? That seems to be on everybody else's list of subjects to talk about. Ooh, let's do Haunted cemeteries, why not? Most haunted. Fuck it, we'll see. Colorado. Most haunted places in Colorado, according to this website. Haunted Colorado hotspots for ghost hunters. Ooh. There's the Stanley Hotel. We all know about that. Stephen King got his idea for The Shining while he was in Estes. The Stanley is 109 years old. I'll just read it from the website. Stephen King got the idea for The Shining while staying at this sprawling 109-year-old hotel in Estes Park, where children's laughter is often heard in the deserted hallways and ghostly strains of piano music emanate from the empty ballroom. There's no shortage of spooky inspiration at the Stanley. In fact, the hotel is so haunted they offer nighttime spirit tours that take you to some of the creepiest areas of the hotel, including an underground tunnel. You know what? I'm going to go Google up Stanley Hotel history. Why not? Steam powered. This old hotel was built in the early 1900s by F.O. Stanley, who created the Stanley steam engine. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. The majestic Georgian Georgian style hotel opened in 1909, catering to the rich and famous. Freeland Oscar Stanley, so F.R. Stanley. Okay, that makes sense. And his wife Flora traveled west to Colorado in 1903 because F.O. Stanley's doctor advised him to seek the fresh mountain air. Stanley, who suffered from tuberculosis, had been advised to not make plans beyond 6 months. Right, because when was tuberculosis? Does tuberculosis have a cure? Yes. I want to say yes. How do I spell this? Yes. Tuberculosis can usually be completely cured by the person with tuberculosis taking a combination of tuberculosis drugs. The only time that tuberculosis may not be curable is when the person has drug-resistant TB. When was tuberculosis cured? When was TB cured? There you go. When was TB cured? November 1949 is when it was cured. And Stanley had it in 1903 is when his doctor advised him to go and enjoy the fresh mountain air that we all know and love. Sorry about that, I didn't mean that. F.O. Stanley built the hotel on the land that he purchased from the Irish Earl Lord Dunraven. Dunraven came to the area in 1872 while on a hunting trip. He built a hunting lodge, cabin, and hotel for his guests and illegally homesteaded up to 6,000 acres in an unsuccessful attempt to create a private hunting preserve. Dunraven was finally run out of the area after trying to swindle folks out of their land and money. Man, and it's pretty interesting when you go and look up the info on the Stanley, isn't it? You didn't realize this until now. I'm 18. I've lived here in Colorado for most of my, all of my life. Didn't even know this about the hotel, which is really cool. In 1806, construction started on the Stanley Hotel. Wood and rock were obtained from the nearby mountains, and the hotel was built in the Georgian architectural style, which experienced a revival in the early 20th century. In 1909, the luxury hotel was completed with no expense spared. Equipped with running water, electricity, and telephones, the only amenity the hotel lacked was heat, as the hotel was designed as a summer resort. And now it's an all-season resort. The Stanley Hotel has hosted many famous guests, including the unsinkable Molly Brown, John Philip Sousa, Sousa, Theodore Roosevelt, the Emperor and Empress of Japan, and a variety of Hollywood personalities. And of course, the Stanley Hotel hosted Stephen King, whose experience inspired the book The Shining. Man, it's kind of, not only can I not talk, but I can't read either. I'm already on 16 minutes. Worth it. Regular guests, no. Here we go. There are several rooms in the hotel that seem to be particularly haunted. One is room 407, which is said to sometimes be occupied by Lord Dunraven, who owned the land prior to F.O. Stanley. Yes. Reportedly, he likes to stand in the corner of the room near the bathroom door. On one such account, witnesses reported that a light in that corner kept turning on and off. While the light was off, they told the ghost that they knew that he was there. They would only be staying 2 nights, and would he please turn the light back on. The light turned back on. However, later when the lights were turned off and they were trying to sleep, noises were constantly heard from the nearby elevator during a time when the elevator was not in use. At other times, a ghostly face has been reported to be looking out the window of room 407 when the room is not booked. I think maybe I should do a podcast on, well, this is the podcast. What am I talking about? We went from talking about family to haunted stuff, and now we're just looking at the history of the Stanley. I'll have to look. Give me a like if you want me to do a history on Lord Dunraven. He seems like a pretty peculiar individual and seems like an interesting topic to talk about. Room 418 gets the most reports of haunted activity, apparently from the children's spirits. Cleaning crews report having heard many strange noises from the room, as well as seeing impressions on the bed when the room has been empty. When guests stay in the room, they often report that they hear children playing in the hallway at night. One couple reportedly checked out of the hotel very early in the morning, complaining that the children in the hallway kept them up all night. However, there were no children booked in the hotel at that time. Oof. There have also been many reports by the guests of haunted activities in rooms 217 and 401. Tour guides tell a story of the ghost of a small child who has been seen by many of the staff in various areas of the old hotel. Pardon me, I must take a breath because for some unknown reason I cannot read. No. Okay. Reportedly, Stephen King also saw the child, who was calling out to his nanny on the second floor. Other past employees report footsteps and apparitions seen throughout the building. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places today, the Stanley Hotel is open year-round. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to look up, not the Stanley. Actually, yes. Ghosts. Here, we'll look up famous ghosts of the Stanley. Ghosts of the Stanley. There we go. Ugh. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Before we narrow down, nope. Room 217, which... Oh, here we go. Room 217, perhaps the most famous spot in the Stanley Hotel, is where horror writer Stephen King spent the night and got the inspiration for his 1977 bestseller, The Shining. You can soak up the same Rocky Mountain views that King got when he stayed there. An added amenity, the room was a library of King novels. When King and his wife arrived at the hotel, it was closing down for the season, and they were the only overnight guests staying there. They ate dinner in an empty dining room while pre-recorded orchestra music played before retreating to their room on the spacious and eerily empty second floor. King woke up that night to a terrifying dream about his 3-year-old son being chased through the corridors and screaming. King jerked out of bed, realizing it was a dream. He lit a cigarette on the balcony, and the plot for his now famous book shaped up. The room is thought to be haunted by Elizabeth Wilson, aka Mrs. Wilson. She was the hotel's head housekeeper and, during a storm in 1911, was injured during an explosion as she was lighting the lanterns in room 217. She survived, though broke her ankles, and her spirit seems to be irregular in the room. Guests have reported items moved, luggage unpacked, and lights being turned on and off. Oh, and Mrs. Wilson is old-fashioned. She doesn't like it when unmarried guests shack up together, so some couples have reported feeling a cold force come between them. One of the biggest myths about the room is that it's never available. Not true. You can actually book it and stay there if you dare. I'm not lying. It actually says this on the website. It's amazing. The vortex. What's a vortex? Because I know about the water one. Wait. Isn't there... Mirror... There's a thing. Meaning. Portals and vortexes. Oh, it's a haunted thing. That's cool. I didn't realize that. From an architectural standpoint, the staircase between floors in the hotel's main guest house is a stunner, but the area has also been dubbed the vortex, a natural spiral of energy. It's also known as the rapid transit system for ghosts that are known to haunt the hotel. Interesting. Yeah, because if you face two mirrors together, say I have one in this hand, one in this hand, apparently a vortex is created that makes it to where ghosts can from one mirror to the next, they can just simply walk across the room, or they can just stay in the room. But I'm not going to do that because I don't have any vortexes in this room. At least I hope not. No, I don't have any. I'm making myself nervous. Anyway, which is cool. Number 3, the Concert Hotel. Oh, no, the Concert Hall, my bad. There's a lot of paranormal hubbub said to be happening in the famed Concert Hall. Paul, one of the well-known ghosts haunting the Stanley, was a jack of all trades around the hotel. Among his duties, enforcing an 11 p.m. curfew at the hotel, which could be why guests and workers hear "get out" being uttered late at night. The area is also a favorite spot for hotel founder Flora Stanley's ghost to play the piano. A few of Paul's antics: a construction worker reported he felt Paul nudge him while he was sanding the floors, and tour groups on the Stanley Ghost Tour have reported he flickered a flashlight for them. Other ghosts known to wander about the concert hall is Lucy, who quite possibly was a runaway or homeless woman who found refuge in the hotel. She entertains the requests of ghost hunters, often communicating with them with flashing lights. Stanley historians, however, aren't quite sure about her pre-death connection to the hotel. I think, if I'm right, because I heard about this at one point, apparently Lucy was, as this said, a runaway or homeless person that took refuge in the concert hall. An explosion happened from one of the boiler rooms, and it killed her. But when workers went down to examine the destruction of the boiler, all they found was her burnt corpse. Either it was burnt or it was just shrapnel. But that's what I heard about it. I'm not too sure if that's true. I would actually have to go to the Stanley and do that myself, which is interesting. Room 401. More than a century ago, the entire fourth floor was a cavernous attic. It's where FEMA employees, children, and nannies stayed. Now today's guests will report hearing children running around, laughing, giggling, and playing. Plus, there's a famous closet that tends to open and shut on its own in this room. Interesting. Okay. Room 428. Really, you get a badge of bravery for staying in any room on the fourth floor, but bonus points if you can book room 428. Guests have reported hearing footsteps above them and furniture moving about, but that's actually physically impossible given the slope of the roof. Tour guides say the real haunt in this room, though, is a friendly cowboy who appears at the corner of the bed. Excuse me? There shouldn't be anything friendly about a ghost just standing at the edge of your bed. Just imagine this for a sec. You're sitting there laying, and all of a sudden you wake up for a few minutes. You're looking around the room. You can move, obviously. It's not sleep paralysis. So you're looking around the room. You notice this figure at the corner of the bed. And he's just standing there. Like, what is so... Like, even in my mind, like, a bedroom should be a safe place, right? So not only is it, like, not safe anymore, it's like, what the hell brought this in to my room? You know, I want to be peace and quiet. I want to be alone. I don't want any distractions. And all of a sudden I see this friggin' 8-foot tall statues, or 8-foot tall shadows standing in my room. It's like, excuse me, one, how did you get in? And two, why are you just standing there? You're not saying anything. You're just standing there. It's like, it's not okay. You should, no. I mean, I have nothing against it, because I believe in this crap. And yeah, obviously they don't really much have a choice, because ghosts don't have a sense of time. And I guess because they're human, but they're not human. like their whole perception on manners, like the same mannerisms as a human, have just kind of like gone out the window. Because obviously, we as humans being alive, we exert a whole bunch of energy, but a ghost, yeah, it's exerting energy, but how much energy does it really need if it can just stay awake? Like, I don't want to have a whole argument on this, but it is interesting to me because people say ghosts can exert energy and oh, they can do certain things, and it was like, okay, cool, but like if they're exerting energy to be able to just move a friggin' item, it's like, how do they have enough energy to be able to like show themselves in a dream? And then I also have to take into consideration that ghosts, you yourself in a dream are just like right in the middle of like a dream. Like, I guess with a dream, you're stepping out of your body. What is that called? I don't know, but you can like, you're in between life and death, where you're just like imagining what things are, I suppose. Um, I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I just find it odd that people can find a friendly cowboy standing at the corner of their bed, like friendly. Like that doesn't, like, okay, fine, if it hasn't attacked you yet, it's friendly. If it's just standing there, you should probably get the hint that, oh, maybe it wants to do something. I don't know. I don't know. It's not okay to me. Like, sure, if I ran into one, I would probably be like, hey, what's going on? But, like, at the same time, I'm just like, is it worth, I don't know. I don't know, because if you've run into like a bad spirit, it's not okay. But if you run into like an okay spirit, I suppose it's okay. But anyway, grand staircase. We talked about the vortex there. Underground caves. What? If you go on the 75-minute night spirit tour at the Stanley, you don't have to be a hotel guest to get in on it, but you should book in advance. Your tour will come to an eerie hall at the end with a visit to the underground cave system. Workers moved about the hotel through the caves in the earlier days, so it makes sense this is a popular haunt. Skeptics will pass off the haunts as breezes from the historic piping and ventilation systems. But beneath the hotel is a higher than average concentration of limestone and quartz, which some ghost hunters believe help capture energy at the property. And that's all it has on this website, at least. So that's cool. I'm going to plagiarize this. I'm reading what the website says. So, oof. I heard about the cowboy and that one maid that supposedly like unloads bags and whatnot. And Lucy. I heard about Lucy. I know Lucy. I suppose that one other thing that I know they didn't mention, which they probably haven't, just didn't add like a whole bunch of like stuff towards, is like there's a little girl ghost that if you leave candy out lying around like a lollipop, like if you brought yourself like a you brought with you a dum-dum and you put it on the floor, like, and it's literally just like laying down, I guess the ghost of the little girl will just like prop it up, like right side up, or you can come back and the candy will be somewhere else, which is interesting. Um, so yeah, that is cool. I ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight, which is good because I actually have to go to work here in a few hours. So this will keep me awake. um, I'm trying to think. We can talk about the Queen Mary, which would be an interesting topic. Queen Mary. Oops. Yep, there we go. We'll learn about the Queen Mary. That's a cool picture. It's got the Queen Mary with a bunch of tugboats. The Queen Mary creation and launch was nothing if extraordinary, and her story is rich with history, elegance, and grandeur. Grandeur? Grandeur? Grandeur. Hermione Granger! Anyway, from the time of her construction began in 1930 in Clydebank, Scotland. The Queen Mary was destined to stand in a class all of her own, despite suffering economic setbacks during the Great Depression, which stalled construction on the ship for several years. Conrad Line spared no expense on building the Queen Mary, which was originally known as job number 534. The legend behind the name. Legend has it that the board of directors at Cunard. Did I say Conrad? Not bad. Legend has it that the board of directors at Cunard had decided to name the ship the Queen Victoria, which would have been in keeping with the tradition of Cunard ships having the AI suffix. Mauritania, Aquitania, and Berengaria, which I guess those are ship names, but you get the idea. Victoria AI at the end. As per protocol, legend states that the Cunard directors went to ask King George his blessing of the ship's proposed name, saying, "We have decided to name our new ship after England's greatest queen," meaning Queen Victoria, the king's grandmother, upon which the king is reported to have stated, "My wife, Queen Mary, will be delighted that you are naming the ship after her." I mean, you didn't... I guess they didn't really state which queen, so I mean, that's their own bad, so that makes sense. Either way, it's the Queen Mary. The maiden voyage of the Queen Mary on May 27, 1936, the Queen Mary departed from Southampton, England, embarking on her maiden voyage. She boasted 5 dining areas and lounges, 2 cocktail bars, and a swimming pool. And swimming pools. There's more than one. Grand ballroom, a squash court, and even a small hospital. What's a squash court? Excuse me? English, hello? The Queen Mary had set a new benchmark in transatlantic travel, which the rich and famous considered as the only civilized way to travel. She quickly seized the hearts and imaginations of the public on both sides of the Atlantic, representing the spirit of an era known for its elegance, class, and style. Absolutely, because we, as normal Americans today, apparently don't have any class and style because we just go out and have really odd styles, very colorful styles now. Anyway, since her retirement from the sea as an active liner in 1967, the Queen Mary has never been more popular as an iconic Southern California attraction, hotel, and venue for special events. The ship was carried the ship carried some 2.2 million passengers in peacetime and 810,000 military personnel in the Second World War. But here in Long Beach, an estimated 50 million people have visited. The day the ship was launched in 1934, a well-known English psychic, Lady Mabel Fortescue Harrison, would predict the Queen Mary will know her greatest dream in popularity when she never sails another mile or carries another fare-paying passenger. A compelling insight. Oh, there you go. From height of luxury to World War II. For 3 years after her maiden voyage, the Queen Mary was the grandest ocean liner in the world, carrying Hollywood celebrities like Bob Hope and Clark Gable, royalty like the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, and dignitaries like Winston Churchill. During this time, she'd even set a new speed record, which she held for 14 years. But when the Queen Mary docked in New York in September 1939, that would be the last time she would carry civilian passengers for many years. Oof. It's getting quite hot in here. As World War II started, the Queen Mary's transformation into a troop ship had begun. She was painted a camouflage gray color and striped of her luxurious amenities, dubbed the Grey Ghost because of her stealth and stark color. The Queen Mary was the largest and fastest troop ship to sail, capable of transporting as many as 16,000 troops at 30 knots. After the end of World War II, the Queen Mary began a 10-month retrofitting process, which would return the ship to her original glory. On July 21st, 1947, the Queen Mary resumed regular passenger service across the Atlantic Ocean and continued to do so for nearly 2 more decades. Running out of breath. The increasing popularity of air travel helped signal the end of an era. I can't read. An era for Queen Mary. By 1965, the entire Cunard fleet was operating at a loss, and they decided to retire and sell the legendary Queen Mary. On October 31st, 1967, the Queen Mary departed on her final cruise, arriving in Long Beach, California. On December 9th, 1967, she has called Southern California her home ever since. The Queen Mary is now a floating hotel attraction and event of wedding venue, home to 3 world-class restaurants and an iconic in Southern... That's a weird way to spell that, but okay. Yeah, there was a lot of ships, especially like cruise liners, that were sent to World War II to like help troops and whatnot. Like the Lusitania was still a passenger ship, but it was still in World War II, but the ship itself was sunk by an explosion of either a torpedo or like mystery. but it's definitely there. That's actually what got America into World War II, wasn't it? No. My God. It was Pearl Harbor that got us into World War II. With Japan. Wait. I looked this up. Now I gotta look it up again. How did the U.S. get involved in World War II? Oh, it was just Pearl Harbor. So wait, what was the Lusitania for? How did the U.S. get involved in World War One? Oh, was that? Okay, so two different world wars. The first one was a attack on the Lusitania. The Second World War was the attack on Pearl Harbor. Thank you, Japan. We appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, most passenger cruise lines were like put into commission for as passenger and military like transports, which is cool to think about. Fuckers are racing around outside. Yeah, that is interesting. Now that I think about it, that's interesting. Titanic sank because of an iceberg. What happened to the Britannia? Because Britannia ship, right? There was a ship. There we go. Oh no, sorry, that's a modern cruise line. Is that really? When was the Britannia ship built? Oh, my bad. Sorry, I'm thinking about another one. Titanic, Lusitania, yeah, there you go, Lusitania. Sank May 7th, 1915. Yeah. What were the three sister ships of Titanic? Oh, the Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic. They were all ocean liner ships. White Star Line owned them. 9 decks, 7 for passengers. Succeeded by RMS Homeric and RMS Majestic. And see, this is why you sit here and look at history, because then you end up learning more and more stuff, which is really interesting. There's the Cunard White Star Line again. What is the Cunard? Cunard. No, not Sunnard. Cunard Line ships. Yeah, okay. The Cunard Line ships consisted of RMS Mauretania, RMS Lusitania, the Queen Mary, RMS Queen Mary II, MS Queen Victoria, MS Queen Elizabeth II. Oops. What did I do? RMS Aquitania, RMS Coronia, RMS Carpathia, MS Golden Iris, SS Imperator, RMS Carnithia, RMS Carmania, RMS Franconia, Escania, Alonia, Lusania, Scythia, RMS Olympic, RMS Britannic, RMS Lancastria, Sagafjord, I don't know, SAGAF Sagafjord, MV Cunard Ambassador, RMS Socania, Ocean Countess, RMS Avernia, RMS Irvinia, Etruria, Antonia, Boltonia, Adenia. There's a lot of ships here. Just a bunch of ships, most of which are old ocean liners. Some are new, some are old. Which is super cool to know, because I didn't even know the Cunard line was a thing. Are the White Star line and Cunard White White the same. Oh, the White Star Line became Cunard White Star Line. The Olympic remained in the fleet. The Cunard White Star Line went out of business, and later Cunard was bought out by the Carnival Line, which currently owns all of the ship companies. Interesting. Okay. I got a few minutes. Let's see what kind of haunted history is on that ship. Queen Mary haunted encounters. The Queen Mary. Cool. The queen of all ghost stories. Seems a little up there, but okay. With such a varied and intriguing past, it's not surprising that the Queen Mary has been voted one of the top 10 most haunted places in America. I don't know. Get a detailed overview. Yeah. Among the ghosts reportedly still hanging around is an engineer who died in the ship's engine room, a lady in white, and various children located throughout the ship, including the first-class pool. The tour stops at the entrance doors to the swimming pool, but does not go inside the pool area due to ongoing restoration projects. Makes sense. Haunted Encounters is offered only during the day, but when the sun goes down, the spirits aboard the Queen Mary come out to play. It's the same website, just telling me that, oh yeah, there's some things going on. No, I actually want, like, give me stories. Come on. Oh, well, that's a haunted house. Haunted ghost. Stories. I should say haunted history. Here we go. B340. Okay. B340. Yeah, I've seen that. Stateroom B340 has a large volume of recorded paranormal activity, with many stories of haunted encounters noted in the ship's logs. Reports date back to the final ocean voyage in 1967 and include complaints from guests staying in B340 claiming that someone was knocking on the door in the middle of the night. Other complaints include bathroom lights turning on by themselves, the sink faucet turning on and off on its own, and unexplained bathroom doors shutting. Some guests have reported the covers of their bed being pulled off while asleep and waking to see a dark figure standing at the foot of the bed. During voyage years, the space encompassed three third-class staterooms and has since been remodeled to become one large guest room suite, a perfect blend of authentic style and modern amenities. B340 is larger than the average cruise ship cabin, featuring operable portholes and offering all the modern conveniences of a contemporary hotel. The famously haunted stateroom offers a true ocean liner experience. In addition to standard hotel room amenities, B340 will supply a chest with unique items available for guests to amplify their overnight haunt experience, including a Ouija board, tarot cards, and a crystal ball. Cabin reservations for stateroom B340 will be available starting at $499 per night. Reservations are available at this number. Check-in is at 4 p.m. and check-out is at 11 a.m. So in order to stay like a week, you would have to be... Fuck, where's my calculator? Hold on. Because a week is 7 days. So $499 times 7. Just for that, it's $3,493 just to stay in that room for a week. If it's how much is 5 days? Because if it's a week, 5 times 499. That's $2,495 for 5 days. How much is 2 days? $499 times 2. $998. Yeah, so it's expensive to stay in that room. I don't recommend it. But that is kind of cool to know. Yeah, that is cool. And I obviously have no... I would have stopped the podcast at one point during this whole time, but seeing as how I'm not like sponsored by anybody, and this is the second... No, this will be the very first podcast on the channel. That's cool. Yeah. So, and we are at a full hour. Thank goodness. I did enjoy that. We went from talking about family to haunted stuff. That's how this podcast went. If you guys have any suggestions on what I should look up next, haunted wise or whatnot, yeah, obviously put your suggestions down in the comments below. I don't have a Twitter, I don't have a Facebook, I don't have anything yet, but I'll work on it. I got to talk to one of my friends about that. Ghost Boy, I need to talk to you at some point when I'm not working overnight. Anyway, I will catch you all in the next podcast. If you liked it, hit the like button, and I will gladly do another one at probably next week, maybe. We'll see. But anyway, I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, and I hope that all of you have had a good time just chilling out, listening to history, listening to fun ghost stuff. I know at some point me and another coworker are going to be playing with a Ouija board overnight at the company we work for, and maybe I'll record our experience. So yeah, I will catch you all latest.